Hello Capricorn friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Capricorn August 2023 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. This is for you if Capricorn is your sun sign, your moon sign like me, your rising sign, or any other placement of Capricorn that you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Cap friend, also like me, like we'll say birthdays January 15th through the rest of the sign, or degrees, 23 degrees or so through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Aquarius report because both the Capricorn and the Aquarius reports will have pieces for you late degree friends. I'm calling the theme of this month for Capricorns 5 stellar outcomes of Virgo stelliums for Cap. And we're going to talk a lot about these Virgo stelliums. There are multiple of them, very exciting, and we'll get into all of that. And there's also so much more to know this month. My goal with my work is to help you understand the layers of energetic expressions occurring at a given time so that you can make the most of the starry possibilities, avert some of the pitfalls of the energetics, and to just have the best month possible. That is my goal for you. So that's what we're going to focus on. Here is to give you the info to help you to do that. So let's go into some important foundation layers to build this storyline of the Capricorn experience for August. And some of these energies begin before then and after then. Not all of the astrological transits, in fact, most astrological transits don't fit neatly into an exact calendar month, right? So we're talking about August, but do know that, some of these things will have a different period of time. And I will give you those ranges of time as that's relevant. Okay, so first thing to know here, again, like July, we have many more salty aspects compared to sweet ones. You notice I'm kind of smiling when I say this. You're like, what? You just said something that doesn't sound good. Why are you smiling? I'm smiling because these are annoying. They're annoying aspects. They're like, nuisance things. Someone aggravates you. There's a speed bump in the road. You have to slow down when you're trying to be productive. These are just speed bumps along the way of the path this month. If you know they're coming, you'll just slow down and just bump over them very softly. When they're happening, you'll remember that I said this and you'll know, okay, this is one of those nuisance aspects that Annie is talking about. It's probably going to pass quickly. Of course, there are exceptions to this. I can't see your exact chart. You may have a humdinger of a long-term major aspect going on that's trumping some of these lighter energies that I'm talking about here, in which case, that's going to feel not relevant, but, because sometimes we have a transit that will just trump everything that's in the general transits because we're having this deep personal experience. But for the most part, for the ones that are happening here, unless they're connecting into your chart in some meaningful way, these are just going to be things to get through. Nothing to fear. Okay, the next thing to know is that we still have a break from eclipse season. This is a nice relief. The April and May eclipses carried intensity even into June, but now in July and August, we get a break to integrate those 2 eclipse cycles that are at work. So September is going to put us back into eclipse season, 4 to 6 weeks before the actual eclipses start the season and the manifestations start to cook up. So that prelude is going to be for the October eclipses, which is going to include the conclusion of the Taurus-Scorpio storyline that began at the end of 2021. A very big wrap-up of karma is going to be occurring. That has been in a nice angle for Capricorn, so you might see some pretty sweet pretty sweet manifestations there. We'll get more into that as the time comes. Just want to give you a little heads up. And then, of course, we have the new storyline, the Aries-Libra stories that began with that Black Moon eclipse in April. So those are going to be brewing. But in August, what's to know is that we're in integration mode. Most of the major manifestations, are going to be outside of this time. Again, there could be exceptions to that, but we've got a little bit of a break from the intensity of that eclipse season, and that is something I think that's very positive. Okay, so this month we've got 2 retrograde transits. One of those retrograde transits is involved in our stellar outcomes storyline because it's Mercury retrograde in Virgo, which is making a beautiful trine for an extended period of time for Capricorn. So we'll get into that. First, I want to talk about Venus retrograde, okay? Because this is a very important transit. This is in a little bit of a more challenging angle for Caps. Again, nothing to fear here, just awareness is helpful. So let's give a little groundwork. Venus rules love and relationships and beauty and design and self-esteem and money and finances. Lots of ownerships there. And it begins June 19th with the pre-transit shadow period that stretches until July 23rd when the official retrograde begins. Stays retrograde officially until September 4th with the post-transit shadow period lasting until October 6th. Very long transit. Venus is in Leo, making a bit of an awkward angle. It's going to be bringing to life other people's money, your spouse, your partner, your business partner, a family member may be going through something. You're along for the ride, or you may be going through something with them specifically. Sometimes in this configuration, you're kind of a bystander that's being affected, but you might not be directly affected. It may be, secondary, like through someone close to you. But there's a storyline that's going on, and this is happening. So this is bringing the topics of money and self-esteem and, all of these things back from the past. Anything unresolved could be coming up. And it's also bringing in uncertainty or questions or topics about inheritances or estate planning or joint holdings, family holdings, spousal financial connections, business financial connections, collaborations, and anything having to do with other people's resources that you need or giving other people resources. So you could be loaning someone money or supporting them, or you could be trying to get a loan for a house or dealing with debt or taxes or something like that. So we've got Venus retrograde bringing in those storylines. Definitely listen to my July report for Capricorn to get even more info about this Venus retrograde, general implications, specific implications for Cap. And you can find that. I'm noticing that on the mobile app, it's a little bit hard to find things. I'm trying to correct that. But you can, at the end of this video, there's a link to the playlist for Capricorn. And in the playlist for Capricorn, you'll be able to access that July report plus other things specific for Cap. So if you want to, go back through that, you can even go back and listen to the April and May reports if you want to understand more about the eclipse cycles and how they may be affecting you. There are a lot of goodies if you want to dive deeper. But suffice to say now, there's going to be a big focus on other people's money and your joint holdings from that Venus retrograde. You can also look in the notes beneath the video or podcast to see a lot of links I have to resources I've created to help you better understand Venus retrograde. Retrogrades are one of my areas of expertise. They are featured in my book, Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. I have a lot of blogs and a lot of different things on this topic. So if you want to master this as much as possible and have a really awesome retrograde process, then you can check out those links to those resources. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a little arrow in the bottom right of the video that you can click, and that will reveal the notes. Okay, one more thing I want to discuss before I get into this stellium awesomeness, and that is this interesting dichotomy between very strong Leo planets transits this month and very strong Virgo transits this month. We'll go deeper into Virgo transits and the stelliums and how they're affecting us soon. But right now, I just want to talk about the presence of these two very different manifestations in such strong form for both Leo and Virgo. Now, even though these can seem to be in conflict, what I'm loving about the potentials for these this month, I'm calling it this rare chance for balance, because they are so different that sometimes when these energies manifest, it can help to bring more balance. And then also I'm calling it like chiseling manifestation to perfection, because all of this creative, enthusiastic, exuberant energy of Leo, and there is a lot of it, creative solutions, zest, childlike wonder, fun even, energy, can be like channeled into the form, the direction, the organization of all those detail-oriented Virgo planets. And for Earth signs especially, I have a lot of placements in Capricorn. I have more placements in Sagittarius, but I'm on the edge there where I've got like a lot of those, of this fire earth energy, which is what's happening this month, is kind of what I live with all the time, is this combination of fire and earth. And I know for myself, I've been able to be really productive and really successful blending these energies. So this is a time where you can take all of that fun and mix it with the practical somehow, like a working trip that's a tax deduction that helps you to get more time with your family, but helps you to, get some important business stuff done. Like the combination of these energies, or channeling creativity to expand your business or work, or taking a creative solution and applying it to debt. There are a million ways this can manifest, but I just wanted to point out this special combination of these energies, because in some ways they'll be vying for attention. But in some ways they'll, give us this potential to channel that exuberance into this organized and tangible expression. So this month is like the epitome of bringing creative ideas into physical reality, and the attention to details and discernment of the Virgo placements can help us to trim the fat of the excessive expression of Leo into this chiseled version of perfection. Perfection is a funny word, right? What can really be perfect? But, as perfect can be. Something else to know about these Leo energies is that they can bring excitement, but they can also bring ego flares. And Virgo energies bring follow through, but also a critical eye. So these two can combine really well to lift creative expression into its highest version of the potentials, but it can also bring conflict. Okay, so great advice for this month is to keep a sense of humor about the creation process, and to not take things too seriously, and to not get too excessive with too much fun. Although Capricorns in general don't tend to, have too much fun to the point where it causes problems, right? Unless you've got other placements in your chart that lend themselves to this. We tend to be pretty practical and level-headed. Okay, so now I guess it's time to get into these 5 stellar outcomes of the Virgo stelliums for Capricorn. So first of all, what's a stellium? What does that mean for Cap placements, okay? Anytime there are planets moving through Virgo or Taurus, it creates a 120-degree angle for our Cap placements. 120-degree angle is the most favorable and harmonious of all of the aspects in astrology. It can bring blessings, just pure magic, awesomeness. And in this case, with all this retrograde energy, it can bring magic from the past. It can bring new energy, but a lot of potential for magic from the past. And then a stellium is 3 or more placements. So we've got Mercury in retrograde. So it's spending an extra amount of time. So Mercury goes into Virgo at the end of July, and it stays in Virgo into the second week of October. So that whole time, we're getting trines to our placement. And especially if anyone who has 8 degrees up to 21 degrees Cap placements, you're going to get 3 kisses from Mercury retrograde as it moves forward, then goes retrograde, then goes back forward again. So just to give a little perspective, this would be like the birthdays towards the end of December, the last few days there, and then through like around January 12th or 13th. So all of you with those placements, or if you have Cap placements between 8 and 21 degrees, you'll get 3 kisses. But don't worry, if you're not in that configuration, you're still going to get a lot of kisses, and all of these stellium things that I'm going to talk about are still relevant for all Caps. So you're not being left out of it. It's just everyone with those placements will have just an enhanced extra potential set. Okay, so now that we have talked about the stellium, what that is. Oh, yeah, okay, so Mercury retrograde, Pallas, Athena, and Mars. That's our stellium in Virgo. They're all making those beautiful 120-degree angles. Let's talk about some of the potentials that these placements can bring. Now, these placements are moving through the 9th house, okay? The 9th house is the house of Sagittarius, which has a lot of different rulerships, and one of them is travel, especially long-distance travel, especially very enriching travel, Okay, the idea of having your horizons broadened, whether it's from travel or some other enriching experience, is what is in order here, not just for August, but before and after. Okay, so travel dreams being realized is one of the stellar potential outcomes of this Virgo stellium. You've got multiple lines of energy bringing the chance for travel dreams to come alive. Now, remember that it is difficult to plan in Mercury retrograde, which the whole month is covered in Mercury retrograde. August 4th is the pre-shadow period. August 23rd through September 14th is the retrograde, and then the post-retrograde for Mercury goes through September 30th. So August and September are covered in retrograde. People have this false idea, very false idea, that you can't and shouldn't travel during Mercury retrograde. Not true. However, what is true is that trying to make plans and have things go according to plan does not always work out well in Mercury retrograde. Now, that being said, the way I have seen most successful travel during Mercury retrograde is not planning it. I can't tell you how many times I've had a random last minute opportunity to take a trip that I wasn't planning, but just came up and turned out to be awesome in the Mercury retrograde. So I don't go out of my way to plan trips in Mercury retrograde because that can be a little troublesome. I mean, not to say, it's impossible. Things can still work out. But last minute travel and sudden opportunities, what I like to call last minute magic, will abound this month. So try to keep yourself unscheduled. You could pencil some stuff in if you've got flexible dates, if you've got flexible trip, laid back, relaxed travel, like, if I make this train, great. If I don't, fine, kind of travel is going to be a little bit less stressful than, oh my gosh, I have to hurry and get this train, and now it's just changed, stations or, whatever various things happen. But either way, this stellium can help you to have your travel dreams realized, and it might show up in a very random last-minute way. Second stellar outcome of Virgo stellium for Capricorn is perfect education opportunities. Whether you're looking for education to expand and enhance your work and income and career, or whether you're looking for hobbies that can just broaden your horizons, like we talked about, and just give you some time to yourself to do something fun for you. You will have lots of opportunities between, in August, but even before and after then, for finding those perfect education opportunities. A third stellar outcome of the Virgo stellium is teaching bliss. Capricorn people have a tendency to be very good at directing or educating others. And we love when someone takes our good advice, right? Often a lot of Capricorns have figured some stuff out the hard way through having Saturn as a ruler. Hard work over a long period of time has helped us to figure some stuff out. And we'd love to impart that wisdom on people who are grateful and gracious with the information. So you might have teaching bliss in the way that, you can take on someone who is like you're their mentor, or you're taking someone under your wing, or you step into your role as a teacher, whether it's in your job or business, or whether it's like you have your own school now online or whatever it is. Now, again, I'm not saying launch your business this month. This is not the best time for launches, especially like brand new big launches. It's more of a time for experimentation and doing things that work before and making plans for future launches. But you could see some opportunities come up for teaching to work out very well for you. Number 4 stellar outcome of the Virgo stellium for Cap is inspiration and motivation. Remember, we're talking about Mars here. Mars rules oomph and ambition and inspiration. And when it's making a nice angle, we might really get the spirit of productivity and the spirit of direction and the spirit of clarity. Now, in general, retrogrades sometimes don't bring clarity. Sometimes they make it not easy to plan for the present or future. But when we're talking about like a bigger essence of something, a bigger vision, bigger pieces of the puzzle being put together, there's a very good chance that this inspiration and motivation through these energies of Sagittarius that are so opening and so enriching and so expansive can really show up for you. Also, star goddess Pallas Athena is really, really, really inspiring. Pallas Athena, also known as Athena, you may know her as the goddess of war, wisdom, strategy, the much more calm, level-headed sister of war god Eris. And in this form, Pallas Athena has always been a very good, resourceful solutionist. So you might find that an idea comes out of the blue, or you expand, basically just kind of imagine a fixed, like your skull, like your head just kind of being closed or fixed, or your viewpoint being fixed. And then just kind of imagine the energy of opening up space. I mean, we want your skull to stay intact, right? Of course. But just your chakras, or your mind, or your perspectives, or your paradigms have this just blowing wide open for ideas that go outside of the box. Kind of imagine you're on a mountain and you're looking down. Like, for instance, people in a little town, their water source is drying up. They freak out. They go to the person on the mountain and say, my water source is drying up. And he says, oh, there's a beaver that built a dam 1 mile up. If you go clear the dam, you'll have your water source. They could not tell that from the viewpoint of down at the ground. But when you get up to the mountain and you look down at everything, you get different solutions that you weren't thinking of because you were too entrenched in the problem. So you're going to have so many opportunities to look at things a different way and be inspired and motivated to clear up problems that you've been stuck in for a long time, for yourself or others. And then the fifth stellar outcome of the Virgo stellium is past efforts paying off big time. Retrograde energies give us this possibility in a big way. We've got Venus doing that for us. We've got Mercury in this beautiful configuration for Cap doing that. So if you've worked hard on something, you've built something, you might be able to use that and expand on it, or have it really pay off for you in amazing ways at this time. And don't hesitate to rest on your laurels a little bit and just let the goodness and the flow come in from things you've already done. You might not have to build anything new right now. You might be able to just kind of coast for a little while and let those Leo energies, let you have fun and kind of just benefit from things that you set up before. So yes, there are a couple of aspects I want to give you. Amazing dates to note. August 1st, Mars. So we basically have 3 Mars trines this month. So on the topic of these trines and stelliums, not only is it making a trine for you, there are trines in the sky, and 2 of these are going to make grand trines, which is like trines in both directions for Capricorns. Okay, so August 1st, Mars in Virgo trining Jupiter. August 16th, Mars in Virgo trining Uranus. August 24th, Mars in Virgo trining Pluto. Okay, so from both directions, there are even more blessings from action turning into major outcomes, inspiration and motivation turning into major outcomes. And in the days around those dates, you might see even more magic come in. A date to look out for, a transit to watch in the days around August 22nd, we've got Mars in Virgo opposing Neptune. Okay, so that can bring a little confusion, a little deception. So I'd say at least 5 days in each direction. So what is that? August 17th through August 27th. Just be extra careful with your private matters or your private data, your security at that time. But that's the biggest thing to watch out in a month of just, a bunch of awesomeness. If you love the dates, the sweet dates and the salty dates and the aspects to watch, definitely sign up for my free VIP community at anniehelpsyou.com. When you sign up for the free VIP community, you'll get my emails, which I only send out a few each month, and they're all content rich with help for taking advantage of the starry possibilities. So at the end of each month, I send out 1 month early a written version of the sweet and salty dates, my favorite aspects, the one to be awareful and careful of, and, just a general write-up of the things to know. And if you love astrology and you want to do it professionally, or you want to learn astrology because you love it and you want to help yourself and your friends and family, then definitely go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com, to see my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course. If you think I put a lot into my free resources, which I do, then you should see what I put into that course. It's very affordable, very accessible, with the structure of a Capricorn and the flexibility of the Sagittarius. That is my sort of line that I walk. You will love this course to help you to do whatever you want to do with astrology. So you can see that at beastropro.com. And if you want to learn, if you're not ready to commit to a program, but you want to learn more, and you love my teaching, then join my secret star portal at AnnieBAstrology.com, Annie, the letter B, astrology.com, where I've got my Saturn and Pisces deep dive, my Jupiter and Taurus through the signs, my how to make tough astrological transits easier, the sun through each sign, how to use that the most. It's growing. There's tons of archives and it's just growing. There's a year worth of content in there that you can access for a very nominal subscription rate. And then I post more monthly. So you can support my work that way and get more goodies from me that way as well. Don't forget to check out my Venus retrograde resources since we're fully entrenched in Venus retro this month. You can see all of these in the notes underneath the video or podcast. I hope you have a wonderful month and I'll see you next month. Bye.